good afternoon everyone, and good day Ma'am Cynthia Matas. And I am Ninyo Ercito Cabugnason, a student of Norso Baez Campus 2, taking a Bachelor in Secondary Education, major in Social Studies. For today's video, I am with the most inspirational teacher in Baez City Pilot School, Ma'am Dara Y. Tanato. Ma'am, good afternoon. So, she was our guest for today's video, and ma'am, I have these few questions for you, and going to ask this to know and to get information on how being a teacher. So first question is, why did you choose teaching as a profession?
Alright, so I think teaching is really my calling, because when I was in college, I first chose BS accountancy. Well, I wanted to be a teacher since I was in high school, but my mother didn't allow me to take up education because education was just education. So I took up BS accountancy, but unfortunately some events happened and my mom passed away, so I got depressed because my mom was the only person I lived with. So I decided to shift to education, specifically BEd, because in my heart, I believe it is really what God has given me, and I really like teaching children.
Okay. So that was a wonderful question, wonderful answer on that you want the kids to be with you. And for the second question is, how do you consider yourself as a teacher?
Well, I consider myself as a very passionate teacher, because I really want my students to learn, especially that my kids are children with disabilities. So these kind of children really needs a passionate and dedicated teacher in order to teach them.
Wow. So for the third question, ma'am, I have here the choices. So first choice is the letter A, the local settings, values, tradition, culture. And the second option is the global scenario, international developments, and 21st century skills. And for the third, which is the letter C, local knowledge, values, culture, 21st century skills, and international developments. So for the question is, which of the following have you give much consideration in your teaching and why?
Okay, I guess I'll have the fourth choice. I know the third choice, letter C, local knowledge, values, culture, 21st century skills, and international development.
Yeah, why?
Should I answer right?
Yes.
Okay, well, as a teacher in this 21st century, I need to focus on of course, the 21st century skills, such as being flexible,
yes,
and globally competitive,
yes,
and stuff. So in my class, I focus on honing these skills in order that my students become children who are globally competitive,
yes,
and would become good citizens.
Yes. So it was you to make them an advanced person in the future.
Right.
So for the fourth question, ma'am, is where you are teaching and what you like the most. Kung saan mo gusto magturo and ano ba talaga yung gusto mo. And the question is local or abroad and why?
Well, it was not really part of my plan to go abroad, because I have really wanted to teach here in the Philippines. But as of the moment, I am thinking of, and I am planning of applying for a teaching job abroad. Should I answer why?
Yes, why?
Well, since I'm already in my 5th year in my service here in BSED, I have experienced lots of struggles and frustrations, since I am a very idealistic teacher, and I have done so much, and that I have observed that I have been given so much so little compensation. And so special education also here in the Philippines is not really given so much attention. So me as a SPED teacher is very much struggling right now, especially with the curriculum or with the policies and guidelines in SPED. So I'm thinking of going abroad, grow professionally and to grow my knowledge of SPED, which is very focused in the United States. So in the United States, they're very focused with SPED and stuff, unlike here in the Philippines. So I'm planning of going, but I'm not really certain. So still praying.
So that was the most saddest part here in the Philippines because the government would not see us, and that's why a lot of teachers and going to abroad because of the...
Yes, and in addition to that, I had said that I had been teaching SPED for 5 years.
Yes.
But still my position is still teacher 1 and not a SPED teacher. So imagine doing SPED stuff for 5 years and not given that position or that compensation that I deserve. So that's one of my frustrating points. That's why I'm planning to go.
So that was the saddest part of being teacher in the Philippines. So let's proceed, and to the fifth question is, what is your most challenging experience as a teacher?
Well, since I'm in SPED and my children are children with autism, as you have known, children with autism have behavior problems, and I have experienced being kicked, being punched, being screamed at by those little children. So I think those are my challenging moments, and those moments really, required me a lot of patience.
So for the sixth question, ma'am, is why do teachers need to adapt the changing world?
Okay, so teachers really need to adapt to the changing world.
Yes, ma'am.
Because in the first place they are teachers, and so they cannot teach something that they do not have. So they need to adapt to changes such as changes in technology. They have to also upgrade themselves. They need to know how to use the computer since we are here in the 21st century. So we have to adapt in order to teach those to our children, because as what I said, we cannot teach something we do not have.
Yes. So for the last question, ma'am, this is for me. And what advice can you give to us future educators to become an effective teachers?
Okay, I have always said this to my students in college, because I have taught in Norso and I'm currently a part-time instructor in Siliman. So this is what I always tell them: love your profession, because you cannot do something good if it's not from your heart.
Yes.
Okay, so at first you need to accept that you're in that field right now. Even if you're still in second year, you need to accept that you're going to become a teacher, and you need to love that profession, because I know some of you were just forced to
Take education
yeah,
course.
you take the education course. So first, love the profession, so that everything will follow. I cannot say that you will not face challenges or struggles or frustrations, but you can overcome those if only you love your profession. That's it.
So that's for our video. So that's for today's video. And thank you, ma'am, and good afternoon. And thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
God
Thank
bless.
you, and God bless.
God bless.